And Toretta intercepted by Teague. George Teague to the end zone. Touchdown. Hall is now right in the middle. That's his blitz. Passes away, penalty flag down. Lamar Thomas has got it. Lamar Thomas is on his way down the sideline. George Teague is after him and runs him down. Takes the ball away from him. Teague's got the ball. And they tackle Teague back at the 12. Game's over. Alabama defeats Miami. Number 2 beats number 1, 34-13.
Blitz on from the 1. And they throw a fade right side of the end zone for Owens. He got both feet in. Touchdown catch over the shoulder. Look at it. Here we go. Oh, they're going to have a big fight. There goes Owens. Puts it down. And he levels it. Here it goes. And now Teague is aimed at by an offensive lineman. Flozell Adams pulls Teague away. And Owens is waved to the bench. And he stands in the middle of the Starr and holds the ball out.
Let me tell you something, Brad. Terrell Owens started it. Emmett Smith went out to the 50, trumped him. Now Terrell Owens comes back, and George Teague said, you know what, I'm not going to take this. Good for George Teague.
Look at Woody getting all happy.
You know, it's crazy because I don't remember all that. I mean, I didn't see it like real time. I had to watch the video of that. So.
Well, we've actually got the video we were going to show here in a little bit. George, you want me to run that now? We're going to get right into it with Darren Woodson here on the Teague's Take podcast.
Well, you can do your introduction, and then we might as well jump right on into it, bro.
All right, we want to welcome everybody into another edition of the Teague's Take podcast. You will see that this is a unique production tonight as we are not live on location at the Maverick Bar in Carrollton. George has the coaching duties tonight, so he is live from the field as he is conducting a scrimmage, or he's watching a scrimmage, I guess, tonight. You're not really coaching right now, right? You're just watching?
That's right. I'll give y'all a little footage right here. You can see our guys out
All right,
here.
there we go. There we go. And we have the great Darren Woodson in the house with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, fellas?
And he just keeps pulling all the punches here with the guests, man. Tony Casillas a couple weeks ago. We got Darren Woodson this week, and what an exciting night. We've even got George on the football. JT's in the house with us live from his house. We're going to, of course, get into some Rams and Cowboys. We're going to get into some Cowboys secondary with Darren. Darren, you're still doing the ESPN thing, right?
No, I've retired, man. I moved on 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Walked away. I'm a business owner, man. I've been a partner in a real estate company for a number of years, and I'm a founder of a software company. So I knew there was no exit strategy at ESPN. The only exit strategy they have is they walk your ass to the door and tell you goodbye. So I needed to move on from there. And secondly, I have a problem with this show. Jorge, off the bat, Jorge. Like what? I call him. I'll never call him George a day in his life. He always knows me to call him Jorge, right? So how the hell are you out on a scrimmage doing two things at once? It's like zero respect for your boy. Like let's meet at your house. Let's go to the studio. I'm like, what the hell you doing?
No, because see, you're part of the family. So one of the things that we do is we actually talk a lot of high school sports here, because most people know that I'm a high school coach at John Paul II High School in Plano. So everyone knows I'm involved with this as a coach. And so a lot of the stuff we cover is about, I mean, your boy played in TAPS too for a little while.
Yeah.
And so we talk a lot of TAP stuff, a lot of private school stuff. And so this is a natural fit. And this will be the first time that I've been around my team with this. So I would say that our viewers should be happy because I'm inviting you to my home the same way I'm inviting you, Woody, into my house out here, man. So, it's good times, man. These are the young pups out here. Got my JV team going on right now, playing. Yeah, you gotta raise them up right, man. Young, right? Gotta bring them up.
I hear that.
Young.
I hear
Look, here come the big dogs right here. Let's see if I can get them up. I don't know how to do it on this. I ain't never done this on my phone, so.
Yeah, you can forget it. Your old ass. You ain't gonna figure it out. Yeah, just go.
You don't even know how to flip the camera around.
Yeah, he can't flip the camera.
I know. Hey, my son's in technology, and he don't teach me nothing. All he do is send me.
Well,
text
Darren
messages.
owns a software company, so
And
now
I
we
still
might need to
don't
talk.
know. And trust me, I have to ask my son to do it. So I'm with you, Jorge. Trust me. We're on the same
And
page.
that might be a good connect right there, JT. Just remember that. Keep that. Send your resume over to Woody. I got his email address and his phone number. So we can send that resume over to you. Got that long money. So
That's
hey,
great.
man,
Well, hey,
look.
let's get right into it. You want to get into some TO talk right away, George?
Yeah, gotta go to it.
Well, let's take a look at the video here. I'm sure this will refresh everybody's memory, maybe except for Woody, because I don't believe he was even on the field at this time when this occurred. Because I think he'd already been booted out of the game. Is that right?
Yeah, that was right, man. I'd already gotten kicked out of the game. So, I didn't see it live. I had to watch it on a monitor in the locker room. But let me see the video. Let me see what it looked like.
All right, here we go.
Yes, sir.
3rd and goal. Garcia, play fake, bootleg to the right. Throws it in the end zone all alone. Terrell Owens, touchdown, San Francisco. And Owens draws more boos by standing in the middle of the blue star and looking heavenward and spreading his arms. A touchdown, Emmitt Smith. And boy, is he fired up. Look at him run. Look at him bring the football. He's going to do what Owens did. Right into the middle of the star, puts the football down and spikes it, and that got the crowd juiced. Blitz on from the 1. And they throw a fade right side of the end zone for Owens. He got both feet in. Touchdown catch over the shoulder.
Here we go.
They're going to have a big fight. There goes Owens. Puts it down. And George Teague levels it.
Here it goes.
And now Teague is aimed at by an offensive lineman. Flozell Adams pulls Teague away. And Owens is waved to the bench. And he stands in the middle of the star and holds the ball out. There are flags everywhere.
And let me tell you something, Brad. Parallel.
It's kind of an abrupt ending there, but you get the idea. We all remember that.
Yeah.
So
Darren, we had Tony on the show. He called George his all-time favorite Dallas Cowboy because of that moment right there.
Yeah. And I've heard a lot. And people always they'll get us confused. She's a guy, and I'm like, no, that's George that hit, that Jorge who hit the dude 81 in the middle of the field. So, there ain't no mixing that up, man. It's 31, and there's 2 memories that I really have, like that of photo, like the photos that I've seen so much, and I see them in my office all the time because I office at the Starr in Frisco. And the one is that play. I see that all the time. That same video, whether it be on ESPN, at the Starr, they show it all the time. And then there's another one, man, that's much more sentimental to me. And it's with Jorge. And it was after 9/11.
With the flag.
At the flag, dude. I mean, I get chills when I see that picture because, look, what happened with T.O. was one thing, man, but what happened on 9/11 was life-changing, and no one was more in the moment than Jorge because he grabbed the flag, and that wasn't staged. That wasn't something that they gave him. It was he grabbed that flag and represented that day, man. And today it gives me the chills.
Are they open to it?
It was just smart.
How many?
Well, yeah, no, he endeared himself to Cowboys fans all over the world for eternity. By protecting the Starr there, and we've heard some stories from him, some behind the scenes stuff about him trying to talk to T.O. on the field on the sidelines when T.O. was a Cowboy and T.O. had nothing to do with him, just walked away, wouldn't even look at him. You played in the league for a long time. Did you ever have any run-ins with anybody like that, Darren?
No, not to that extent. I mean, there's people I didn't like. I didn't like Chris Carter when I was playing. I mean, I don't know if anybody liked Chris Carter when we were playing, but I didn't have. Look, that incident was probably one of the most isolated incidents that may have ever taken place on an NFL field because of the enormity of what was taking place. And Jorge had enough and went after him at the same time. And I can understand. Look, people get butthurt about a lot of things, and I'm sure T.O. was embarrassed by getting his ass knocked off the Starr, and he's not looking to be friends moving forward. And who would? If I did it, and George knocked me on my ass, I wouldn't be shaking his hand either.
No, but you about making some money. We could have made some money together off that doggone thing.
Oh yeah, wait. Okay, you didn't say anything about business. Now you didn't say anything about business. That's a little different.
So I have to tell you, I have to admit, Woody, if you never ever heard it before, I did, even though I got kicked out, and I did that. I always blame it on you.
Why is that?
Because you left me out there to dry by myself back there in Sunday, trying to deal with these dudes.
Why did you get ejected? I've never actually heard the story.
All right. Well, let me tell you this story. So they had to play. First of all, we were terrible. I ain't gonna lie. We were absolutely garbage. The personnel we had on that team, and Jorge George will tell you, we sucked. That's who we were. So they were moving the ball up and down the field. I had a lot of frustration with what we were doing up front in that game because they ran the ball at ease against us. And I had made a tackle and someone had stepped on my chest. Now, the next day when we watched film, that really didn't happen. I guess I imagined it. But so, I knew someone stepped on my chest. I don't know who it was, but it looked like it was a different colored jersey. And I got up and I'm yelling and screaming and trying to push and fight an offensive lineman. And the referee had heard enough because George and I had been bitching and complaining most of the game because we're getting our asses kicked, right? So we're complaining through the process. But the referee had enough of me complaining, and I went after the guy in his huddle. Referee was trying to pull me off, and I told him to get his hands off me, and he was like, done. And the crazy thing about it is he said, Woody. He didn't call me Darren. He said, Woody, or most referees call you 28 or whatever your number is. He called me by my nickname, Woody. I'm going to give you one more chance. And I looked at him and he looked at me and he said, you know what? Get your ass out of here. That's exactly what he said to me. So I got upset. I went to the locker room. And can I go ahead and finish the story? Because I want to just finish the story altogether, right? From my perspective. So I go into the locker room after being kicked out. And as you can imagine, I'm still heated. I'm pissed. I'm upset. I get in the shower and I'm sitting, I get out of the shower and I'm walking to my locker and there's this boom coming in. It's like the door gets kicked in. And I look and there's George walking in. And I'm like, what in the hell happened to you? So he doesn't say anything to me. He didn't mumble, nothing. He just walked right. Like I wasn't even standing there. And I'm saying, Jorge. And it's like, Jorge, what happened? No, he just kept walking. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? So in the locker room, there's these little monitors where you can watch the game. And he wouldn't talk to me. So he went over, he's getting dressed, and I'm looking at him. I'm, hey, man, what's going on? He wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't say nothing. I finally was like, all right, damn. So I'll walk back to get my clothes on, and I look up, and I see the replay of what happened. And then I look back over at him, and I was like, well, damn, here we are, bro. I totally get it. I'm not alone. We're both going to get our asses fined for this one.
Well, that's greatness right there.
Yeah.
Hanging out with George the last few months, doing this show and talking to some of his teammates, man, you guys got the best stories ever. I mean, it's the behind the scenes that you guys talk about is incredible. I love hearing that stuff, especially as a huge Cowboys fan. So let's talk a little bit, Darren, about the current team. You said you guys sucked really bad back in the early aughts there. I mean, being a fan and watching every game back then, I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm glad you did it first. So we had high expectations, I think, coming into the current season. we got some rookies in the secondary. We're obviously having issues at safety. Have the Cowboys made you an offer to bring the 28 back and get in the second?
Hell no.
Cowboys.
Hell no. And look, if I came back and played, y'all would be talking all kind of trash about. I know my boy 31 would be talking trash about me. That's for sure.
I sure would.
Yes, you would. I knew you'd be the first.
Apparently, I guess, Coach. Indy Cartel must don't watch your Instagram where he be. Y'all got to watch Woody because on his Instagram, y'all make sure y'all follow him because he always be in his weight room in the house trying to stretch and work out. About this, looking all stiff. Come on, man. I'm like, what's he doing, man? Quit showing everybody that. Oh,
hey, man, I gotta get my workout in. I gotta show you something. But look, there ain't no way in hell I could backpedal. I mean, if I backpedal, I'm losing Achilles. I promise you, I would. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, I know.
Right? That's the
players right now too.
Someone sensitive about an Achilles. I ain't gonna mention no name. Both of
me and JT both.
Yeah,
both of us blew it up.
I tore mine before it was cool, and then he copied me.
Were you in school? Were you playing ball? JT?
No, well, I was playing ball, but it wasn't at school.
Tell them what you did. Tell them what kind of ball you was playing.
This ain't about me. This show ain't about me.
This the team take. You a team. Tell them what you was doing.
I was playing flag.
You playing?
And it
How
was.
How old were you?
25, I think. 26.
Come on, man. Really?
I was backpedaling and, try to change direction. I didn't stretch, just like you said, out there trying to backpedal, probably doing a little too much.
But you know what? Let me tell you this, though, JT.
No, you need to ask him how he tore his.
No. JT, let's go back to you. 25 years old and you tear your Achilles. Let me tell you, and you said, one thing you said was you didn't stretch. At 25, I used to be like a cheetah, dude. You ever seen a cheetah jump off a rock and try to stretch?
Hey, well, look, there's a difference between you and me. One of us is in the Cowboys Ring of Honor. The other one is sitting at home.
Yeah, man, you can't be tearing no Achilles, bro.
Yeah, so you wanna talk about how you tore yours and what you were doing and who you did it in front of?
Okay, so I was in this dunk contest, right?
No.
Please.
I don't believe it.
No.
I don't believe it. You want me to tell the story?
He was playing knockout.
Yeah, you had a box of pizza. You had a box of pizza in your hand, or what happened?
No, man, this is my story. That's what I'm telling. I got a grandbaby now. So if you know that, JT had a baby. So
yeah.
My grandbaby. So I'm already working on my stories, man.
Yeah, working on all the lies.
When I was 48 years old, I was still invited to come to the NBA dunk contest.
Oh my God!
Come on, man. What happened? Tell the truth.
I was doing a 360, and I teabagged this dude on the way down.
He told me it was LeBron.
Oh my
God! It was LeBron.
I held on to the rim a little too long. I came down. I didn't land right, so it blew out on me. But I didn't fall. I walked off. I just thought it was a little something. Then the trainer said, "Hey, you might need to go get that checked out."
You and
I drove myself to the doctor. The doctor said, "Hey, man, this thing is tore up, man. You out for some time." I was like, man, give me a couple Tylenol. That was it.
Okay, Jorge. Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah, see, look, Donnell is in here. Donnell, no, that's not true.
Oh, got a little cousin there?
Oh, my God.
All right. What's up, cuz?
Well, Darren, we know we got some issues here with the Cowboys, and there's an obvious solution out there in free agency with Earl Thomas. Any thoughts on bringing Earl Thomas to the Dallas Cowboys?
Look, I think they, for the last 3 years, they've been enamored by Earl Thomas. Since the time he ran to the locker room after the game, after they beat the Cowboys, and he ran into the locker room to tell Jason Garrett that he always loved the Cowboys, wanted to be a fan. I mean, the Cowboys have just been enamored by him. So if that's the case, and they've loved Earl Thomas all these years, then why is it to today that they have not pulled that trigger? And it has to be something that's taken place, whether it be at Seattle, who Coach McCarthy has a great relationship with that staff, or it has to be somewhere in what happened in Baltimore where something Earl Thomas has done has turned the Cowboys off, because there is no reason in heck why they would not take him at this point. He's a playmaker. He's a guy they've been courting for a long time. You would think it'd be a natural fit. There has to be something that's more off the field that is happening in that decision, and that's determined, and it's basically deterred them from making this decision on bringing them in.
You got a lot of rookies in the secondary and in the locker room nowadays, and if you think he's a bad guy and he's going to be a bad influence on those boys, then yeah, I mean that could be a.
You know what? But here's my thing about it. I mean, look, not everybody you bring in is going to be a choir boy. I'm serious. I don't care to have 53 choir boys on my team. You know, I played with a guy in Charles Haley who was as far away from being a choir boy as there could be. I mean, but on Sunday, he was a flat out dog on the field. And those are the guys that you have to understand that, yeah, Monday through Saturday, they may be a different person, maybe somebody you just don't, get along with all the time, but you know what you're getting on Sunday. And I feel the same way about Earl Thomas. Yeah, you may not like him, but you know one thing he's going to do. He's going to prepare. He's going to make plays on Sunday, and he's only going to do the little things it takes to get them to play at an elevated rate. And I just, I still think that there's something there and that they should take a look at it.
Well, see, and that's what I was actually talking about this with Big Game James last night about exactly what you're saying. That we got a lot of nice dudes. They're talented and all that. There's got to be a certain bit of attitude, a little bit of edge. He named one, but we had a lot of guys with edge on our team. I mean, offensively and defensively, special teams, shoot, where there were some guys that as much as we'd go eat together, hang out together, be with each other's family, when it was game time, man, there's just some stuff you can't take.
Right.
And that's continuing losing by, a couple points or letting people just walk all over you. So
yeah, true.
Yep.
Well, we also had high expectations for the offense going into this year with Jason Garrett being gone, and everybody thought Jason Garrett's the problem. He's too conservative with his play calling, with his offensive game planning. But it seems like we saw the exact same game plan. And, other than the fourth down, going forward on fourth down, which I don't see Garrett would have ever done anything like that.
Absolutely not.
And I had no problem with that play call whatsoever. That is not the reason they lost the game. But in my opinion.
No, man, you know what? And this is the deal. So we're watching that game. I'm watching that game, and I'm with a couple other people, and we're doing that live YouTube react deal. And one of my co-hosts was saying, you know what? They should go ahead and kick the field goal, right? And I agree. I was like, take the points. Take the 3 points. But that's what we've been conditioned to do through Jason Garrett. And I love Jason. Jason's been a dear friend of mine for the longest time. But we have been conditioned to be safe for so long. No, dude, I'm serious. For so long, we've been conditioned to say, okay, take the points, get the 3 points, we move on. It's tied up 2020. Here, look, you got Coach
Woody, I got my coach's hat on now, though. You gotta take that point.
No, hold on. You got Coach McCarthy. Let me talk, Jorge. Damn. So I got the mic. Go watch the
man.
Okay, so Coach McCarthy's first year coming in, right? He's trying to build some trust. He's trying to figure out who do we have? What kind of guys are we? Can I make this decision 15 more games down the road, right? Like if they get that 4th down and 3, you know what? Okay, now I'm building confidence in them. They're building confidence in me, and we go on about our path. They didn't get the 4th and 3. So what do you think he's thinking? All right, well, I know what I got. I'm going to be a little bit more patient with this team. But they drew up the best play possible. It wasn't Dak's fault. It wasn't CeeDee Lamb's fault. The tight end didn't get up the field and rub the defensive back. They had the best play. They had it drawn up the right way. They just didn't convert. And let's give the Rams some credit. They made a play on it.
That was a good play.
But I thought it was a call that you can start to build confidence in with your football team. So, I did. First, I was like, take the points. And after a while, I was like, nah, man, you know what? We've been conditioned this way for way too long. Because and McCarthy has told us, I came here to win Super Bowls, not to be passive. So
Well,
it is what it is.
man, are you done?
I'm done, dog. Go ahead. I'm out here.
Are you done?
JT, go ahead. Knock me off the screen.
He said, JT. No, I'm just saying, I do agree with a lot of those. And I've had the same argument. I agree with 100% of that. But I still think, and you know it, especially what you're trying to do your first game. Sure, you're trying to establish an identity and that type of stuff. I agree with that. But I also know that very first game, you need to win. You got to win. Did they lose because of that one single play? Absolutely not. But I think that was a critical. God dog it, I'm sorry. Somebody just breaking one for 60 on my defense over here, about to run it right at me. Anyway, God damn it. Let's go, tackle somebody. Woody must be out there. Anyway, this is what I'm talking about. Establishing an identity, right? And to win the game. You got to win the game, though. It's critical. New coach, COVID, everything going on. You don't know, what's going to be happening to me. I think as a coach at that point, I know we're trying to establish something. I'm trying to separate myself from the old Cowboys, but also as a coach when I'm standing here on the sideline, I'm saying what is going to put me in the best position to win this game. I don't know if going forward on that fourth down was putting me in the best position to win the game. I think kicking the field goal was. That's all I'm saying. Later this week, when you're going up against the Rams, I know he asked you about the secondary. I mean, the Falcons, and you got Julio and Ridley and them guys.
Yeah.
Hey, man, now you might have touched the chance, but I don't know if we can cover them dudes. I don't know how you feel about that, JT, and over there.
No,
we got
if
guys
we
who
gonna
can
get
cover
into
those.
that later. No, I got a whole thought about what the Falcons game.
Okay, give us your thoughts since you just jumped on in.
Well, look, so I had a couple problems with the Cowboys game versus the Rams. At first, I was upset about the play call on 3rd and 6 that put us into 4th and 3. But then after I went back and watched it, there was a read option. They had 5 in the box, which is exactly what you wanted. And it just actually came down to Aaron Donald being a man and whooping our right guard and just blew up the whole thing.
Yep.
So at the if we were doing our reacts thing, if I was there, I would have been upset right then. And then after I went back and watched it, I saw what happened. I was cool with that.
But he was calling 2 plays. You know he was going for
That's fair. Yeah.
You knew he was going for it on 4th down. Yeah.
I guess if you know you're going for it on 4th down, then even more excusable, I would say. But I even thought even if you didn't think it was 4 down territory, I still thought it was.
Hey, JT, give me a second, right? Hey, Jorge. You see that button that says mute on your phone? It says M-U-T-E. Yeah, you're an engineer grad from University of Alabama. Dude, push the button.
Yeah. I think he's doing something else. He looked like he texting, ain't he?
Thank you.
I got him. You didn't have to wave at me, George, when you want to say something.
So,
JT, you're the smart one. You may resume. Oh, God, hell, here we go.
Oh, he's out. I didn't do that.
Yeah, we'll get him back. So from there, I still thought they should have kicked the field goal. I understand what you're saying, but again, before you saying what you said, I was thinking that the reason you'd go for it on 4th down is if you thought that you weren't going to be able to score again, which is concerning to me, especially since I guess with hindsight, you look back and you say, well, they in fact did not score for the rest of the quarter. So, 2 sides of the same coin, right? You go for it and you say, I got 12 minutes to score again. I believe in the defense or, whatever. I don't know. But what I do know is that the Rams, that first drive walked down the field and we're missing 2 linebackers now. We have a very young secondary. And even though the Falcons just lost to the Seahawks, they had 3 receivers go for 100.
Yeah.
I don't know who is going to cover Julio. It's probably going to take 2.
Yep.
Maybe 3. But if you're going to double Julio, then you got to try to figure out how to cover Calvin Ridley. I mean, who's going to do that? Mm-hmm. And as much as Pops loves Trayvon Diggs, I didn't see Trayvon Diggs not down not one ball.
He was close, so
he was close.
Yeah, he was close.
But hey, close gets you beat.
Yep.
You got to actually do it.
He had a bad game at all.
Yeah.
No, he didn't have a bad game. Yeah. But it's different when you're covering Van Jefferson and Robert Woods than Julio and Calvin Ridley. Right. So I'm terrified.
Yeah. I'll give you my little 2 cents of what happened. The Cowboys are built to play with a lead. That's how they're built defensively, specifically on the defense. So here's the deal. Offensively, if they're playing the Falcons this week and you know you have weapons on the outside, there's no way in heck they're going to be able to cover. Here he goes again with his ball. Dude, mute him, Tim. Mute this dude.
I don't know if y'all can hear me. I can't hear what y'all said. My ear pod going down. So
I
got to get out. Our varsity guy's about to get on.
Okay. All right, man. Bye. Yeah. Adios. We got this. All right. So.
Like how he leaves his own show right in the middle.
That's my dude. That's how he does. So anyway, look, there's no way you're going to cover those dudes on the outside, right? I don't care who you have. If you had Deion Sanders and Richard Sherman on the other side, you ain't covering Julio Jones one-on-one. You're going to have to find a way to double him, right? So they're going to have to double Julio. Ridley may get his, and Julio may get his as well. But the way you play this team is this. You have to get up on them offensively and put them in obvious passing downs, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. The strength of the Cowboys is this. Everson Griffin, right? Defensive end. Right. Alden Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence. They need to unleash. They need to get in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 6. They're not going to be able to cover the guys on the outside, but a hell of a pass rush will limit you. And you know where Matt Ryan's going to be. He ain't rolling out.
No,
he's going to be 5 to 7 yards deep.
Talk about bad Achilles.
I'm sorry.
Talk about a bad Achilles.
Yeah, I mean, you know where he's going to be. So that pass rush has to be everything works together. Pass rush, secondary, all works together. And if that pass rush is there, there's no way they're going to run those deep comebacks, the 9 pumps and all these. I mean, that's where it starts. That pass rush, the guys they pay that money, DeMarcus Lawrence needs to step up. Sorry, man.
Let me ask you this, because now I should have stuck with my gut last week when I said that the Cowboys were going to lose a close one to the Rams. I should have stuck with my gut. Then listening to Tim and the rest of my friends, they made me change my mind to the Cowboys winning. But if looking at what the Rams were able to do with Jared Goff, just getting the ball out quick, 2.5 seconds or less, short ball. When did they punt? The first punt they had was midway through the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
So do we think that the Falcons would end up just trying to do those, turn
but it's
to Michael Thomas or something?
It's 2 different teams. Now you're talking like the Rams are built off their play action, the bootleg, the waggles. They want to run the ball, and then if they can consistently run the ball on you, then everything works for them. Now Sean McVay can do a little bit of everything. He can run the press play, he can hold the ball out. They can run the boot, they can run the deep routes, all the play actions are all there set up. And it's hard, honestly, guys. This is not an excuse for the Cowboys, but it's hard as hell to get ready for the Rams because they give you so much. They give you the Zeke sweep. They give you so much. There's so much motion going on.
Man, and all the plays look the same.
And every play looks the same. So if you're not disciplined, which this team, the Cowboys didn't have a preseason, no one had a preseason, it's hard to get ready for that football team. You have to be very disciplined, and they weren't. Not only were they not disciplined, they got moved off the ball. They were not the more physical football team this week. And the best team won that game because they outplayed them physically. But I think it's going to be a little different this week. You can't tell me that they didn't come in on Monday and Coach McCarthy said, look, they moved you physically off the ball. And he's probably using different language that I'm using right now.
Coach.
And he's he's probably pushing them this week to say, hey, we got to play more physical. We have to win at the point of attack. Look for this team defensively to stop the run next week. They're going to make it an onus to stop the run and make Matt Ryan one-dimensional. And I'd rather see one more of a one-dimensional offense than an offense that can run the ball and pass the ball at the same time.
Against the Rams, they allowed almost 6 yards per offensive play.
Wow.
And 53% third down efficiency for the Rams. They were 9-17. The Cowboys were 25% third down efficiency. You cannot have those numbers. Plus, you had 7 penalties for 50 yards. You cannot have that kind of undisciplined play.
And still had a chance. Still had a chance to win that game.
Yeah. But
let me ask you this. I got to ask JT this question here. That last play, JT, you played cornerback.
I did.
That last play to Jalen Ramsey. And I know this wasn't the deciding factor, but do you make that call?
I thought that was bogus. That was a weak OPI call.
Yeah.
I mean,
they were
by letter of the law, it was offensive pass interference, but they never call that.
Ever
whether it's offensive pass interference or not, they never call that.
No, look, that's like that play reminded me of like in basketball, LeBron James. It's 5 seconds to go, and LeBron James is playing against, I don't know, let's call it the Utah Jazz, and he's about to go to the hole, and someone picks his pocket. They're gonna blow that whistle, right? It's the same thing with Jalen Ramsey. I just paid that dude $100 some million. He ain't gonna get beat on that play. No, dude got beat.
He did.
And they were hand fighting all the way down the field. They never, ever make that call at the end of the game. And that blew me away. And I can tell you this, man, Manu Ginobili, remember the San Antonio Spurs guard, Manu Ginobili, was the best flopper in all of basketball, dude. Jalen Ramsey was the best flopper.
He sold it. I'll give him an Oscar.
He stole that one, man. So
it was good.
I don't know. Well, you can tell I'm a little fired up about that one. That didn't seem right.
Yeah, but you take those 2 plays and you still can't say the results of those 2 plays are why they lost the game.
No.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to score more than 17 points. There was only one team last week that scored less than 17 points and won. And I mean, both of those teams are not very good to begin with. So, I think you really need to get to 30. If you can score 30 points in the NFL, the odds of you winning the game are very high.
Offense should be able to do that.
Yeah.
They should be able to do that. And I don't understand. The only common denominator now that we have from the anemic offense last year and the anemic so far offense after one game this year is our offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the first one to say it.
Yeah, you did say it.
If this goes on for 2 or 3 games, does McCarthy say, you know what, kid? Let me show you how it's done.
Yeah.
I really think our best play caller is not actually calling plays right now.
Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously the most experienced play caller we have on the staff is not calling plays right now.
Yeah.
So
but hey, look, I think we got to be patient here at the same time, though.
That's fair.
New offense. Quarterback is digesting the playbook. The whole entire offense is digesting the playbook. The guy who I feel is their best offensive lineman, La'el Collins, is out. And I know everybody says Tyron and Zach Martin. No. I think La'el Collins is that physical guy that brings a lot to this offensive line. They're not the same right now. But what I did like, what I saw this past week, was Zeke looked like he was.
Oh, he looked like
the old Zeke. He was the old Zeke this week. And if they can get some of that, man, and then get in a rhythm, I'm still holding out hope. We only had one game. We're down 1 game, right? So I'm still holding out hope this team gets back on track, get a little healthy, maybe go pick up some people that are out on the street right now, like a Delaney Walker tight end, like an Earl Thomas. Maybe get another linebacker or veteran linebacker out there. But I'm still holding out hope that this team has a chance because they do have skill. Their skill positions are really strong.
Now, I have a question for both of you real quick, just for my sanity, because I was slightly annoyed at the lack of deep balls that we attempted. And to me, when I was watching it live, it also looked like we threw a disproportionate amount at whoever was covering or whoever Jalen Ramsey
was covering. Yes.
They got 4 other DBs that we could be going after. And it seemed like every time, whether it was to Gallup or to Cooper, to me, it seemed like they looked and said, where's Jalen Ramsey lined up? Throw it over there. And let's try to attack him. Why?
I can't get the game plan.
You know,
I
you know what?
Not
Well,
being afraid of DBs, but come on now.
Honestly, I didn't see. I haven't seen the coach's film and can see all 22. So I don't know what the kind of defense the Rams were playing on the back end. I can just imagine they're probably rolling one way and then letting Jalen play man to man on the backside. Maybe that was what they were doing. I'm still not sure what they were doing, but I can tell you this. I think the fear in running deeper routes this past week was they had no answer for Aaron Donald.
There was no time to throw deep.
There was no time to go do a 7-step drop because that grown-ass man was whipping everyone's ass across the board. Didn't matter who it was. And even when they doubled him and then tried to chip him, he was in the backfield and he had his hands on Dak. So I think it was a matter of fear of getting your quarterback hit.
And hopefully we'll see this week against a not so great defensive front. Dak should have more and I say the word should because you never know.
Yeah.
Dak should have more time, and hopefully we'll see some more deep balls down the field. We need to take a quick break.
Go ahead.
We need to take a quick break. Darren, are you hanging out with us for 15, 20 more minutes?
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. It's about a 3.5 minute break real quick. We're going to lose the video here shortly, and then we'll be right back.
For your personal and commercial needs. Websites built, repaired, secured, maintained, and found. Thomas and ProfoundSites.com provide e-commerce development.
Featuring Mike Fisher with 30 years experience covering America's team. It's the most popular of all the Sports Illustrated sites and home to the Cowboys Blitzcast podcast. CowboysSI.com is the place to get inside your Cowboys. With such a talented team of writers and reporters over there, you'll always know the latest about personnel and roster moves, salary cap issues, and draft class status. Click on over to CowboysSI.com and always be in the know and get the inside scoop on America's team.
Increase time inside your home, noticing all the little things needing attention? Let Repair Resource be your one trusted contractor to tackle all of your home repair needs. They do it all: electrical, plumbing, drywall, painting, and flooring of all types. They can even handle your exterior needs, like fencing, patio covers, concrete pads, and decking. No job too big or small. Repair Resource does it all. Call them at 972-415-1198 or visit them online at www.repair-resource.com.
Hello, Teagues Take fans. This is IndyCar Tim, and I want to talk to you about our good friends over at Meat Church. Do you need to take your barbecue and grilling game to the next level? Check out the great line of products from Meat Church Barbecue, from seasoning and rubs to full-blown recipes for things like pork belly burnt ends, smoked queso, beef ribs, smoked bologna, and Texas-style brisket. Meat Church has what you need. If your barbecue and grilling game is lacking, check out their barbecue classes and other events. They'll help you raise your game to impress friends and family. If you're in the Waxahachie area, please check out their store at 205 West College Street or give them a call at 214-980-1063 or head on over to meatchurch.com for locations near you where you can get all their great products or order directly online at meatchurch.com. And we are back. Welcome back to Teague's Take podcast with George Teague. George is at a scrimmage right now, supervising apparently a defense that's falling apart right in front of him. We've got JT here and the great Darren Woodson by remote. We're talking all the Cowboys, getting into some Rams. What happened against the Rams? We're talking now about the upcoming matchup Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan. We're hoping for a little bit better performance. JT, did you want to get right into money matters like we normally do coming out of the break, or you want to continue our Cowboys talk? Well, I guess it is kind of Cowboys talk, isn't it?
Yeah. So we'll jump into Money Matters. Brought to you by profoundsites.com. And so this is me kind of getting on my soapbox because I've seen a lot of things online that's starting to make me mad. I don't know if it's actual Cowboys fans. If it is, then I don't think they are Cowboys fans. But basically, the statement is pay Dak his money. Whatever the market rate is, pay him. The things that I've been seeing online and from conversations is that they're looking at his playoff record and saying, you've only got to win. You got to win more than one playoff game before you get your big contract. And yeah, see, Darren's laughing because he knows how stupid this is. But here's my rebuttal. And I want you guys to weigh in afterwards because we had already kind of talked about 30 points being what you need to win a football game. And the Dak's played 3 playoff games, 2 of which are losses, both in which the Cowboys have given up 30 points. Last I checked, Dak Prescott doesn't play defense. And I was so upset about this that I went and I found a whole list of quarterbacks and their playoff records when their team gave up 30 points. Now, I'm not going to read them all out, but a couple that were noticeable to me was Brett Favre is 0-7 in playoff games in which their team gave up 30 points. John Elway's 1-6.
Cowboys in the 90s too.
Yeah. John Elway's 1-6. Aaron Rodgers is 1-5. Tom Brady's 2-3. Drew Brees and Russell Wilson both are 0-3. So I want to just right now put it to bed that Dak's playoff record should not matter at all when talking about this current contract because we also have to do better on defense before we can start blaming him for playoff woes. All right. And rant.
Go ahead, Darren.
Darren, you're on mute.
Oh,
someone. Tim, come on, man. You gonna treat me like George, huh?
Never.
Look. I don't understand the argument. I really don't. I think you pay the man his market rate. I mean, what are we comparing him to? Listen, this is the thing that gets me. This organization understands what it feels like to be in purgatory as far as a quarterback is concerned. I remember on the team when Troy Aikman retired. We didn't have a quarterback that could complete a 10-yard pass. And for years, we went 3 years, we went 5-11. 5-11. And it wasn't until they brought in Drew Bledsoe that they had somewhat of that anchor. And then Romo came in and took over from there, and Romo played lights out. They know what it's like. It's not like quarterbacks just grow off trees. I mean, what's the expectation? Okay, let's say Dak goes somewhere else. Andy Dalton going to be your guy the years to come? No. Cincinnati got rid of him.
Who has never won a playoff game.
0 playoff games. What you're going to go draft someone. I mean, if you really want to feel that way, Cowboys don't have a lot of leverage. If that's the case, you would have went out this past season and drafted a quarterback that you can build through the system and go from there. But that's not the case. It's like if you don't have a quality guy, Dak is a qualified player. He's one of the top at his positions. Just be happy and deal with the situation that you have because there's so many teams out there right now who would just jump at the chance of having a Dak Prescott as their starting quarterback. The going rate is $30-some thousand. Sorry, it is what it is. They used to have safeties that the going rate for a safety was whatever that number was, and you took advantage of the market rate, whatever it is. That's the going rate. Stop worrying about another man's money. Let him get his.
And to me, and I've been saying this for the last 2 years that they've been negotiating, trying to extend him. People get too hung up on the dollar amount.
Yes.
You got to take away the amount of money. You got to ask yourself, is Dak worth fair market value for other quarterbacks in the league? And that right now happens to be $35 million. So it's going to go up.
Yes.
Don't forget about paying a guy. We can't say, well, he's not worth 35. None of them are worth 35 million.
No.
The amount of money. It's worth paying the same as other quarterbacks in the league that are performing just like him, maybe some better, but he'll get there. That's what the argument truly is.
Yeah.
It's not about, is he worth $40 million? It's about, is he worth us keeping and paying fair market value for, or do we feel like we need to go somewhere else to get the job done? Bottom line.
Good luck. Good luck finding that dude.
Yeah, go find somebody, because I mean, there's
out there.
The Bears hadn't done it yet either.
You want Chad Hutchinson back? You know what?
No. No, hey, watch this. Tim.
Dak.
Tim, those some bad memories. Do not bring that up.
You brought up 3 straight 5-11 seasons.
5-11s, bro. Yeah, they were rough.
I know. Hey, I was there with you. Trust me.
Yeah.
Those were not good times, but so yeah. I mean, that to me, that's where you got to analyze the situation. And you know, we're not inside the Starr. We're not in the negotiating room with Dak and his agent and Jerry and Steven. And, you know, I'm sure there's a lot going on in there that we don't know. But what we do know as outsiders looking in, they're not getting it done. He's franchised this year. You know, is he going to be franchised? If they don't want him, they're going to franchise him next year and then trade him.
You know, and everyone should be thinking this. Look, I think there's a stance that people feel like he doesn't deserve it. And these are Cowboy fans who are saying, a lot of Cowboy fans are saying, you should hope and pray that Dak gets that kind of money, because that means he's having success. Like, you know, it's like, to me, it's a difficult argument, because I've been a player on that side, man. I understand that when it gets to that point, it's an emotional time when the team is telling you you're not worth it, or your value is not worth $35 million. What the hell else does he have to do to prove that he's worth that? The guy's proven he shows up every day. He plays he's available every single week. I look out my window every week during the off season, and who's the first guy out there working his ass off? Number 4, Dak Prescott. It's nonstop. You know what you have. You're not going to have any off the field issues. He's going to do his job. And he's a quality quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback, in my opinion.
Well, and just like getting hung up on dollar amounts, people get too hung up on stats sometimes. Yeah. Like you said, JT, like, well, what's his record in the playoffs? Well, that's not all on him. Clearly, because the list that you read off, those guys are all great quarterbacks. A lot of Hall of Famers in there. And you can't get hung up on the stats. As a Cowboys fan, I use the eyeball test. I've watched this guy play now 4 years, and to me, he gets the job done. I can't think of anybody in the league right now, you know, name a couple of quarterbacks ahead of him maybe that I'd rather have. But, dude, he's ours. He's homegrown. We drafted him. He was great at Mississippi State. Right. And I don't have any problem him hanging out and us getting I say us like I played. Them getting the job done. I always make fun of people who do that. Them getting the job done with Dak behind center, because he's going to be there when they're winning Super Bowls. And
absolutely.
He's their ride or die. And everybody just needs to accept it.
Yeah. Agreed. Hey, look, there's a lot of other people. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was about to change the subject. So go ahead.
No, you're fine. That's what
I had a question before we went to break about whether we thought this was going to be a Cowboys win this week or not, and whether it was going to be a shootout. What do you think?
Look, I think it's going to be a shootout, because I don't think our defense is going to stop them. I think they're going to have, you know, they're going to score high 20s for sure. And I don't know how we match up front. I mean, on the outsides, I don't think we match up at all. But offensively, I think this offense is going to start to catch its rhythm. I absolutely think they're going to start running the ball consistently. I think that you know, look, here's the hardest thing about the Cowboys. Is if they can get that running game and protect the quarterback, they have weapons on the outside. That's going to be hard for Atlanta to stop that three-headed monster as well. I mean, who do they take away? Amari Cooper? Well, we're seeing what Gallup is doing to one of the best cornerbacks. He's working his ass on the opposite side. He's going to get his. CeeDee Lamb's going to work the middle of the field. My concern is Jarwin. We don't have a tight end right now that can exploit the middle of the field. Delaney Walker's out there if anyone's listening, but we don't have a tight end right now that can really exploit the middle of the field. But I still think there's enough weapons to hang at least 30-some on the Falcons. And the Falcons are not – I'm sorry. Watching that game last week with the Atlanta Falcons and the Seattle Seahawks, the Falcons are not a good football team. They throw the ball around well. They make great plays as a unit on the wide receiver unit, but as a whole, they are not a solid football team. I think the Cowboys take advantage of them this week.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the spread on this game was 7. We talked about it on my other podcast last night. And
it went down. It went down. Last I checked, it was at 4.
Well, this is as of Monday when I got the picks. It was at 7. So I took the Falcons to cover that, but I also picked the over of 53. So I think it's a high scoring game. And you know what, boys, if Dak and the offense can't hang at least 30, 35 points on this defense, then we know we've got some other issues going on.
Yeah, true.
And it could get ugly in the room if things don't go well this week. For sure. So, I mean, yeah, that's all I had as far as Cowboys and everything goes, JT. And you got anything else?
No, we covered it all.
Darren, why don't you tell us a little bit about your podcast?
Okay, it's the Darren Woodson Show. Appreciate that, Tim. It's the Darren Woodson Show. You can find us on anywhere you can find podcasts, whether it be Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. We're on all the social media platforms. Listen, what we do on our podcast is we go through the journey. And we talk about whether it be athletes, CEOs, Navy SEALs, it doesn't matter who they are, interesting stories. And we talk about the journeys of certain individuals. And it's been phenomenal, man. I got 2 great co-hosts, and Tyler Klutz, who's a former Cowboy. Yep. Ben Gibbs is a guy who played in college, probably the best athlete of all 3 of us. But, just a tremendous show, man. And we're having a good time. We're 3 dudes. We talk a lot of trash. We go at each other, but we want to be as open as possible. And we've had guests as Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. We've had, again, Navy SEALs on, CEOs. It's just been a great, great show, man. And we're starting to do live reacts for the Cowboys game. So we won't do it this week, but we'll be back on against the Seattle Seahawks. So tune in. And hopefully I have George on when they play the San Francisco. If they play the 49ers this year?
They do. It's like week 15 or something.
Yeah. So hopefully I have George on the show on the live react when we do the Cowboy 49er game.
Oh, that'll be great. Yeah, remind us. We'll promote it then going into that week for sure here on the show.
Absolutely. But thanks, man. Hey, look, JT, I want to say this to you, man. Your father and I played a number of years, got to be really good friends. He is, and I tell everyone this, he's the smartest person I've ever played with.
Well, that's
I know you're probably like, my dad? Really? Like, dude was brilliant, man. I mean, he knew I used to get mentally outside of myself sometimes because that's how I played. And he would just line me up sometimes during games, man. But not only that, but he could just digest the entire playbook in a second. He saw it one time, photographic memory, and then just verbally could just tell you exactly what the coaches were wanting out of us, man. But he was phenomenal, man. And it went beyond just that one play. His game was so much better than just that one play against Terrell Owens, man. There was so much more and more substance to this dude. So
I appreciate it.
There you go, man.
On Darren, we appreciate it so much,
It's
man.
7 o'clock.
Good luck with all the business ventures you got going on, and good luck with the podcast. Check out the Darren Woodson Show on your favorite podcast app and across all the social media platforms. And we're waiting for the time George makes his appearance on your reaction show.
All right. Appreciate you guys, man. Thanks,
brother. Thanks, Darren.
And that's going to wrap it up for this week. We are the Teagues Take Podcast. George had to step out for a scrimmage. JT and I, hopefully, were able to hold things down for everybody. Relying on Darren maybe a little too much, but he can hold his own out here, that's for sure. But we will be back. Now, JT, remind me, because I was going to announce this tonight on the show, we're changing nights out at the Maverick Bar. Does that start next week?
Yes, that starts next week. Next week, we will still be live at the Maverick Bar Thursday, but the time will be pushed back to 9 p.m. next Thursday. That's September 24th.
Right.
And then from that show, so after the 24th, we will be live again at the Maverick Bar, but the days will be Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
Perfect. So Tuesdays at 8 p.m. starting in two weeks from tonight.
2 weeks from tonight, Tuesdays
Next
at 8
week,
p.m.
Thursday at 9.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
Perfect. You guys come check us out at the Maverick Bar next Thursday night, 9 p.m., and then nights after that on Tuesday at 8. Come out and meet George and his special guests. And I did not look to see who the guest is next week. Do you happen to have that in front of you, JT?
I believe that's the don't hold my feet to the fire, but I think that's the family show with my mom and uncles and cousins and things who were at the game, because that will be the actual 20th anniversary of the TO incident, September 24th. So
correct. All right. Well, very good. That's going to wrap up the show for this week. We'll be back next week with another edition of Teague's Take. We want to thank everybody that's made this one possible. We want to thank everybody for tuning in and asking the questions. I apologize for not getting all of the questions on the screen, but we were tied up with Darren pretty hot and heavy there with some Cowboys talk. So until next week, we're Teague's Take. Everybody take care. We'll see you next week.